Okay, as I had already told you that tides normally we say at high tide and low tide. But there is another variation in these tides. One is called as spring tide and one is called as neap, N-E-A-P, neap tide. So let us understand at first the why tides actually occur. Now, we all know that every celestial body has its own gravitational pull. Like the sun is pulling the earth, okay, the earth is pulling the other things, the moon is also pulling some. So, in this way, as you can see in this diagram, let me take this, okay, as you can see this in this diagram, earth is situated in the center, and in its right hand side sun is there. Sun is pulling something and the moon is pulling on towards the left hand side. Now when they are actually pulling, okay, now remember one thing, towards the sun, okay, the portion or the side which is in front of the sun, there high tide will occur, but comparatively the rays of water will be less as compared to the side which is in front of the moon. Now the question comes why? Okay, the question comes why? Because moon is much closer to the earth. That is why when the moon is actually pulling, okay, the earth, the water actually comes first. Okay, it bulges. Here you can see that the water has actually bulged. Okay, in this side also it is bulged, but they have comparatively shown the similar way, but it should not be similar. It should be in this way. Okay, the side which is in front of the sun will face high tide, but comparatively less raise in water level. Now question comes ki why this water, from where this water is actually coming out? This entire water, actually the level was this, but during the high tide it has raised to this level. But why? Question is why? From where the water has come? Actually the water has came from this side and the opposite on that side, which we cannot see as it is a 2D picture. So the water from this side actually goes here. So obviously the water level decline from this side. So when we see this side high tide here, at the same time here we will see a low tide. Understood? It is a interrelation. Because of this side the water actually moving to this side and from this side to this side, obviously in this side we will have less water and here the water level falls down, and this occurs the low tide. So the areas which are in front of moon and sun faces high tide, and the areas which are uh, on the different angle, okay, this side and this side also will face low tides. Now question comes, what is the timings in between? We all know that earth rotates on its own axis in within 24 hours. Okay, meanwhile the moon is also rotating or means revolving around the earth, and that is also rotating, but moon's rotation is not a matter for us. Now meanwhile, as it is rotating, okay, earth is rotating, so 24 hours. Okay, now obviously if moon comes to this place, it will take 12 hours. Yes, sorry, I don't mean to say, as earth is revolving, earth is rotating, okay, so the place from here to here, when this earth will come here, it will take 12 hours, but in between that, this is, if 12 hours divided by 6, it is, and do you know it is written 6 hours and 13 minutes, the difference between that quarter. Okay, every quarterly we see high tide, then low tide, again next quarter again a high tide, and here again a low tide. So 24, if we divide that 24 with 4, if it is quarter, then obviously on an average it is coming 6. So that is why in your book it is written, do you know, you can see every high tide and low tide have a difference of 6 hours and 13 minutes. So I think this concept is clear to you. Now the next concept that as I had told you, let me explain that.